The epic duel of David and Goliath. Over 3 millennia ago, a confrontation took place that would become a symbol of battles where the seemingly weak triumph over the mighty. This iconic duel, as narrated in the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament, was between David and Goliath. Goliath, a towering giant of almost 3 meters, was heavily armed with a sword, spear, and javelin. On the other hand, David was a slender young shepherd. Yet, against all odds, David emerged victorious, felling the colossal Goliath with a single stone from his sling. But who was this Goliath? What was his origin, and how did the circumstances of his duel with David unfold? Goliath was a renowned Philistine giant, known for his duel with David, as mentioned in the books of Samuel and the Chronicles of the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament. He was a descendant of Rapha, a lineage of giants from Gath, one of the 5 ancient Philistine city-states. Recent archaeological evidence suggests that while the lineage of giants might be fictional, the name Goliath did exist in the regions described in biblical tales. Goliath hailed from Gath, a city-state located in the northwest of the area controlled by the Philistines. The name Goliath is believed to be linked with the Assyrian-Babylonian term Kusali, meaning runner or destroyer. More recent etymological studies have associated his name with the European word Alex. Goliath was considered one of the 4 gigantic sons of a man named Rapha or Rapha, traditionally associated with a legendary race of giants. In battle, Goliath donned a heavy armor made of bronze scales. Standing at an impressive height of almost 3 meters, he was unparalleled as a warrior. His weapons included a sword, a javelin, and a spear, the shaft of which was likened to a weaver's beam. His immense size and formidable strength gave him a significant advantage over his adversaries. Moreover, his iron weaponry provided him a distinct edge over the Israelites, who were yet to possess metal weapons. His battle attire consisted of a bronze helmet, bronze greaves for his legs, and a 50-kilogram armor made of bronze scales. Little is known about Goliath's feats before his duel with David. However, rabbinic tradition identifies him as the Philistine warrior who captured the Ark of the Covenant in the same battle where Eli's 2 sons perished. Goliath was also known to be a devout follower of Dagon, the Philistine god. The discrepancies regarding Goliath's height are noteworthy. Ancient documents, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls of Samuel, writings of the 1st century Judeo-Roman historian Flavius Josephus, and manuscripts of the Septuagint, suggest that Goliath stood at 2.6 meters. In contrast, the Masoretic text, a Hebrew version of the canonical books of Judaism prepared between the 6th and 10th centuries CE, places his height at 2.97 meters. There's speculation that Goliath might have been a descendant of the Nephilim, enigmatic figures from the Hebrew Bible mentioned in the Book of Watchers in the Book of Enoch. According to Enoch, the Nephilim were gigantic beings born from human women and fallen angels expelled from heaven for their sins. The 1st book of Samuel narrates the battle between the Israelites and the Philistines. During King Saul's reign, a Philistine army arrived in Judah to wage war against the Israelites. The Israelite army, led by Saul, camped on a hill, while the Philistines set up on an opposing elevation. From the Philistine side emerged Goliath, who challenged the Israelites to a duel to decide the victor. If he won, the Israelites would become subjects of the Philistines and vice versa. This challenge deeply disturbed the Israelites, primarily due to Goliath's immense size and superior weaponry. For 40 days, morning and evening, Goliath taunted the Israelites, mocking them and their God. Yet, no one dared to accept the giant's challenge. David, the youngest of 4 brothers, was not in Saul's army as he was tending to his father's sheep. However, during these 40 days, David was sent by his father to the Israelite camp with food supplies for his 3 brothers and the army. Upon his arrival, David witnessed Goliath's challenge and felt the palpable fear of the Israelites. David's unwavering faith in the God of Israel was evident. He believed that the same God who had delivered him from the claws of lions and bears would also deliver him from the mighty Goliath. David's confidence was not in his own strength or skill, but in the power of the God he served. This deep faith and trust in God's providence set him apart from the rest of the Israelite army. When Goliath saw David, he was filled with disdain. To the giant, David was nothing more than a young boy, ruddy and handsome, not a seasoned warrior. Goliath taunted David, asking if he was considered a dog that the Israelites would send sticks to chase him away. He cursed David by his gods and promised to feed his flesh to the birds and wild animals. But David was not deterred. He responded with a bold declaration, stating that while Goliath came with a sword, spear, and javelin, he came in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel. David's words were not just a retort, they were a proclamation of faith. He declared that the entire assembly would know that the Lord does not save with sword and spear, for the battle belongs to him. David's confidence was infectious. His belief that God would hand Goliath over to him was unwavering. The climax of the confrontation was swift. As Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly reached into his bag, took out a stone, placed it in his sling, and slung it. The stone struck the Philistine on the forehead, embedding itself there, and Goliath fell face down on the ground. With this single act, David triumphed over the Philistine using just a sling and a stone, without a sword in his hand. But David's victory was not complete. He approached the fallen giant, took Goliath's sword, and cut off his head. The Philistines, seeing their champion defeated, turned and ran. The Israelites pursued them, inflicting heavy casualties and emerging victorious. David's triumph over Goliath was not just a personal victory, it was a victory for all of Israel. He demonstrated that faith in God and reliance on his strength could overcome any obstacle, no matter how insurmountable it seemed. David's faith, courage and skill with the sling turned the tide of the battle, and solidified his place as a hero in Israel's history. Interestingly, there are theories suggesting that Goliath might have suffered from a condition known as gigantism, which results in abnormal growth due to an overactive pituitary gland. This condition can sometimes lead to vision problems, which might explain why Goliath did not see the stone coming. Regardless of the medical explanations, the story remains a testament to the power of faith and the idea that with God, all things are possible. David's sling, a seemingly simple tool, was a formidable weapon in the right hands. Calculations based on physics suggest that if the stone David used weighed around 20 grams and he swung it at a speed of 5 rotations per second, it could strike with a speed of 34 meters per second. This would be more than enough to cause serious injury, especially when aimed with precision. In the aftermath of the battle, David took Goliath's head to Jerusalem, a symbolic act that showcased the defeat of a mighty enemy. Surprisingly, King Saul did not recognize David, even though David had played the harp for him in the past. When Saul inquired about David's lineage, David introduced himself as the son of Jesse of Bethlehem. The victory over Goliath catapulted David to fame. He transitioned from a shepherd boy to a respected warrior leader. His alliance with Saul laid the foundation for the unification of the tribes of Israel. However, as time progressed, Saul's jealousy and David's rising popularity would strain their relationship. Despite the challenges, David's faith and leadership qualities paved the way for him to become one of the most revered kings in Israel's history. The precision and force with which David struck Goliath were remarkable. From a distance of 35 meters, David's stone hit Goliath with the impact equivalent to a .45 caliber bullet. Such a force was more than enough to bring down a man of Goliath's stature. The sling, a seemingly rudimentary weapon, in the hands of a skilled user like David, became a deadly instrument of war. The story of David and Goliath remains iconic even after 3 millennia. It resonates deeply with the human spirit because it epitomizes the triumph of the underdog. The narrative of the weak overcoming the strong is a timeless theme that has been retold in countless cultures and eras. David's victory over Goliath is perhaps the most emblematic representation of this theme. This tale is not just a story of physical combat, it's a testament to faith, courage, and the belief that with the right strategy and conviction, even the most formidable challenges can be overcome. It serves as a reminder that sometimes, it's not the size of the weapon but the heart of the warrior that determines the outcome of the battle. In the annals of history, few stories have captured the imagination and inspired generations as much as the duel between David and Goliath. It's a narrative that transcends religion and culture, offering hope and inspiration to anyone facing overwhelming odds. The video concludes by emphasizing the importance of knowing and understanding history. As the saying goes, a people who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. By revisiting and understanding stories like that of David and Goliath, we not only appreciate the lessons of the past but also draw inspiration for the challenges of the present. The tale of David and Goliath is not just a biblical account, it's a universal story that resonates with each of us. It reminds us that no matter how insurmountable the odds may seem, with faith, determination, and the right strategy, we can overcome any challenge. In today's world, we face our own Goliaths, be it personal struggles, societal challenges, or global issues. But the story of David, a young shepherd boy who defeated a giant, serves as a beacon of hope. It tells us that we don't need to be the biggest, the strongest, or the most equipped to make a difference. Sometimes, all it takes is the belief in ourselves and the courage to take that first step. As we reflect on this ancient tale, let's also think about our own battles. What are the giants we face in our lives? And how can we harness our inner David to tackle them head-on? Remember, every challenge presents an opportunity for growth, and every battle won, no matter how small, brings us one step closer to our goals. In conclusion, the story of David and Goliath is more than just a biblical narrative. It's a timeless lesson about the power of faith, the importance of strategy, and the indomitable human spirit. As we navigate the challenges of our times, let this story serve as a reminder that with conviction and courage, we can overcome any obstacle. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's most iconic tales. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Let's continue to learn, grow, and inspire one another. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the stories that shape our world.